So in this video, we're going to focus on the concepts of positive and negative space, which is another strategy when you're creating contour and observational drawings. So in art, positive space is the object itself, basically the main subject matter. And in this example here, the sculpture is positive space because it's the object. And so the negative space is the space around the object. And in this example, it's the space around the sculpture, it's the space in between the legs. And in art, the amount of positive and negative space can actually change. So in this example here, right, things look fairly balanced in terms of the amount of positive and negative space, while the example on this side here, things are mostly negative space, right? There's a lot of negative space, while the example on this side over here has mostly positive space because the house looks relatively big. And when we are drawing positive and negative space, the easiest way to do it is to look at your object as a series of shapes. Forget what it is. Forget what the object actually is. Just look at it in terms of shapes. And so it is easiest to think of that the shaded area, for example, this part of the scissors, is the actual object, but don't get too confused about the use of color. You can actually see it in this example here, right? So even though there is shading on the right side, the whole point is that we're actually seeing those shapes. Now, this is an optical illusion here, and sometimes it's kind of tricky figuring out what the positive space actually is. So when you look at this, right, do you see a vase or two faces? And positive space and negative space, they can use different values of color. It's not always black and white. So you can see how with this student, they created this still life drawing, and you can see the edges of the object, right? That's the positive space. But on the right side here, they left all the positive space white to show us the negative space, which is all shaded black. Now we can actually see negative space used in different labels. So maybe you can find the design that's used for the FedEx logo. And we have these poster designs, and they use positive and negative space in interesting ways. This example here for Helping Hands for Pets. This one uses negative space and positive space in really interesting ways. Now, if we actually talk about it in terms of a painting, right, in this example here, what is considered the negative space? So we're assuming that the clouds are the main focus, that the clouds are the objects, and then the blue sky is the negative space. But sometimes that is not always clear. In this painting here, is there more positive or more negative space? And when we think about positive and negative space, no one type of space is more important. It's just a way of looking at the objects and thinking about it in a different way when you're sketching. So how do you see positive and negative space? So when you're drawing an object in real life or you're working from a photo reference, try to imagine all the colors and values just flattened out, right? So we have a picture here of a stool. Now, if we just focus on the positive space, we would visualize the stool as all black. You're just focusing on that positive space, not the actual object. But then when you're ready to look at the negative space, right, you still have an outline, but the background becomes all black because you are now looking at the negative space. And as it says right here, it can be a little tough to understand positive and negative space. It just takes some practice, but this is a great way to help improve your observational drawing skills.